Deleting Instagram. Oh my God, you're doing what? Dun, dun, dun. I am quitting Instagram. Yes, even as a business owner, I'm deleting it. So long, sayonara. I'm gonna talk to you in this video about my reasons for doing it, both personal and professional, how I feel about it, and why I think actually Instagram is a bad idea for most businesses, regardless of the type of business that you have. I'm also gonna share our exit strategy, how I'm actually leaving Instagram. So if any of that is up your alley, that's what we're here for. In fact, comment below and let me know if you have considered leaving or deleting Instagram yourself, and let's jump into the content. I'm Tara Wagner, breakthrough coach and lifelong entrepreneur. I help other entrepreneurs to crush their goals, not their soul. If that sounds like your jam, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, then check out the other videos on my channel after this one. Leaving Instagram, quitting Instagram, deleting Instagram, whether or not Instagram is worth it. All of these topics have come up so often in my inner circle. We talk about this constantly. Is Instagram a good idea for my business? Should I be growing on Instagram? All of the things. And so I want to talk to you in this video about why I think, honestly, for most people, most businesses especially, it's not a great idea. But even for individuals, I don't think it's a great idea. So before I get into that, let me first state how I feel about leaving the platform, because I've had a lot of people ask me, aren't you nervous? What's the impact going to be on your business? Are you afraid? Any of that? And my answer to that is nope. I'm not that nervous about it. I have experience with this. I left Twitter at the height of Twitter, when everybody said, as a business owner, you have to be on Twitter. It is suicide for your business to not be on Twitter. That was actually the things that I heard. And anytime I hear a blanket statement about something, I'm always like, that's how I know it's not true. We've been alive, we've lived life, we've had businesses for a very long time without social media. And while social media is a great tool and it can help your business, it's not absolutely necessary, especially being on every single platform, doing all of the things, spreading yourself super thin. We really get to decide, where are we going to get a return on our investment? Where does it make the most sense for our business to show up? For some businesses, that is Instagram. And for some businesses, it might not be. So no, I have no FOMO about leaving Instagram. I'm not worried about it at all. We actually kind of started this process last year, cutting back a lot of the content that we were putting on there, doing very minimal. And we've been doing more and more over the past couple of months to just kind of slowly, as we had the time, prep ourselves to be able to completely leave the platform. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but what I really want to say, number one, the first reason that I'm leaving Instagram is that I was investing a lot of time into the platform and getting very little return. And as a business owner, I need to be very careful about where I invest my time. And as a person with health issues who cannot waste time, I don't have a lot of time to build my business just because I have to really pace myself. I get to be really careful. And so because I wasn't seeing the return on my time, I wasn't really seeing the benefit of it. It felt like I was kind of just, talking in an echo chamber. It really just wasn't making sense. And so that was kind of the beginning of the end, when I started to just sit down and analyze the data in my business and where things were coming from and where I was getting the best results for myself, but also getting the best feedback from other people. What was actually helping my customers and my clients the most, and Instagram just was at the bottom of that list. One of the other reasons that I decided to leave was that the content on Instagram is not evergreen. Now again, as a business owner with health issues, I need to be very careful where I invest my time. And so I like to invest my time in things that are going to continue to serve people, that are going to continue to provide value, that are going to continue to grow my business. That's not Instagram posts. I could make an amazing post. It could go viral. And chances are after 2 weeks or 4 weeks or maybe a couple months tops, you're not going to see that content anymore. For me, that doesn't make sense. Whereas on YouTube, when I create content, first of all, I can go deeper. I can connect more with people. I can add more value. But also that video continues to work for me for years to come. I have clients and customers that come in from videos that I did years ago. As a business owner, we really need to make sure we're leveraging our time in the smartest way possible. And so again, when I just kind of analyze like where things are coming from, but also how much time is going into something, and was that something continuing to work for me, Instagram wasn't it. So that's why we started shifting more to YouTube. We are doing more on the blog, things like that that will continue to work for us after they get created and put out there. The next reason that I am leaving Instagram is that I find it difficult to have real interactions. Just like what I was saying with the content, I can go deeper with people through video, I can go deeper with people through a blog post, I can go deeper with people in my Facebook group, I can go deeper in the newsletter. All of those things make more sense, because I don't want to just be a fluffy coach. I called a tough coach, not a fluff coach, is what a lot of people refer to me as, because I can go deep and I can really add value. If I'm not making a difference with what I'm doing, what is the point? And so I find on Instagram, the interactions, they're fluffy, they're light, they're small. It's difficult to go deeper. You have limited space. The algorithm doesn't always support you actually connecting with the people you want to connect with. I've literally had people that I loved and wanted to see their post. I would go to their profile, I would engage, I would send them messages, I would do all the things to make sure that the algorithm knew that this is a person I wanted to see, and I still couldn't see them. And I was hearing the same thing from my clients and my customers. I never see your posts on Instagram. I always have to go to your feed to try to find them. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. I don't love the algorithm. I don't think that the algorithm is set up in a way that is really conducive to real connection. And I don't think it's set up in a way that's conducive to what people actually want to see. Now, again, I know that this kind of is a blanket statement. I know that there are some people crushing it on Instagram, and I know some people love Instagram. And if it ain't broke for you, don't fix it. But for me, it wasn't working. It wasn't working for my business, and it wasn't working for my clients and customers. And so that was one more reason we decided to leave the platform. On a personal level, I also think that the algorithm really encourages unhealthy habits, unhealthy mindsets, unhealthy usage of the platform. And this is because, from everything that I've learned about the algorithm anyway, you need to be showing up consistently, but consistently doesn't just mean scheduling a post throughout the week. That's consistency to me. Consistency to the algorithm on Instagram is more about, you need to be live on there. You need to be engaging on comments. You need to be going into your stories multiple times a day. You need to be using all their little things so that you're telling the algorithm to favor you. I hate games like that. And I don't like anything that encourages us to be constantly on our phone. Now, I have not watched The Social Dilemma because I'm pretty sure it's gonna scar me for life and make me quit everything. But I have experienced in my own life the impact of being sucked into my phone. And years ago, I made the decision to just consciously break that habit, break up with my phone. And I actually have a video on that if you want to watch it, I'll link it below. But it was a life-changing experience for me to start pulling away from all these things. Once you pull away from it, that's when you really see the impact that it's having on your mindset, on your mental health, on your relationships, on your life, on everything. You won't notice it when you're in the thick of it, in the middle of it. You notice it when you step away from it and you start to realize, holy crap, I'm going out to dinner and everybody that I'm sitting with is scrolling through Instagram. Or holy crap, I'm going through the grocery store and people are on their phones, not just Instagram, but on their phones while they're doing something else. You get to a red light and you immediately see people pull out their phones. I'm like, if we can't sit for 30 seconds or 2 minutes with just our thoughts or the scenery around us, that's kind of a problem for me. That does not resonate with me. Now, again, I'm not criticizing Instagram. I don't think Instagram necessarily is the problem. I think that Instagram feeds into the problem, and I think the way their algorithm works feeds into the problem. But I think that the problem is really a human problem, and we need to be doing things individually to take back control of our lives and take back control of our focus and our productivity and the things that matter most, prioritizing those things instead of letting stuff like Instagram or other social media platforms that you might be doing it with. I've done it with other platforms too, don't get me wrong. We need to make sure that they're not taking our time, where they're not in control of us, that we're in control of them. And so I believe in putting your money where your mouth is, right? I don't want to put my time and my money and my energy into a platform that just doesn't connect with my values as a person, the way that I want to live life, or the way that I want to encourage other people to live life. And so one more reason why I'm pulling off the platform, but not the last one. The fifth reason that I'm leaving Instagram is the Instagram culture, the way that it encourages people to try to be a perfectionist, compare yourself to other people, try to have it all together all the time, making everything look just right. I have seen firsthand in myself, I've seen it in my clients, I've seen it in people in the inner circle, how much they struggle with that. All social media platforms can encourage that, don't get me wrong. But Instagram overall really encourages a hyper focus on our bodies, on the way that we look, on the way that we have it all together. Now, I'm not against a curated feed. I had a curated feed on Instagram. You can still check it out. But I am against the idea that we should be comparing ourselves to that curated feed, that we should be thinking that what we see is everything. And I think that specifically on Instagram, the culture really just encourages that kind of mentality. I am so sick and tired of seeing female empowerment quotes over pictures of women in a bikini. To me, that's not female empowerment, that's female sexuality, and those are two different things, and both of them are beautiful. But why are we seeing that overlap? It's because of the culture of Instagram. It's all about how things look. And I don't like that. And as a business owner, yes, that wasn't my content. That wasn't the content that I was seeing, but that's the content that we get inundated with on the platform. It's perfect, beautiful, amazing content. And I don't dislike it. I just don't think that it's healthy to immerse ourselves in it to such a degree. And so again, this was just where it wasn't lining up with my personal values. I wasn't feeling authentic and I wasn't feeling true to what my belief systems are when I was on that platform. And so I was just like, yeah, it's time to go. The next reason that I'm leaving Instagram is more of a business reason, and that's because Instagram as a platform has stopped innovating and they've just started copying, and I know that that's the beginning of the end. So Instagram came out with IGTV. They came out with that to compete with YouTube, right? They came out with stories to compete with, I don't even remember the name of the platform. What's it called? You guys know what it's called. They came out with Reels to compete with TikTok. And I'm just like, you know what? Innovate. Like if you're not innovating as a business or as an app, that's not a good sign. Like you're gonna lose business over time. I kind of feel like they think that they're as big as Facebook. They're so just like into the culture that they can do whatever, and they're just gonna like keep that fan base, keep those people on the platform. And that may be the case, I don't know. But I look towards innovation as one of my key factors in terms of platforms that I want to invest in and where I want to spend my time. And I don't think that every platform is doing great at that. I think a lot of them actually are not doing so great at that. But I do like YouTube. I like the way that YouTube, maybe they're not innovating as much as I would like them to. I would love for them to come out with like groups, like Facebook groups, but like on YouTube. I know that's not really innovation, but I still like it. I know they're not doing massive innovation, but what I do see them doing is constantly working on updating our experience as creators, really helping people to learn what it takes to be successful on this platform. You don't see that from Facebook. You don't see that from Instagram. You don't see that from TikTok. They don't teach you how to use their platform and be successful on it because they don't really have that much value, or they don't get that much value from you doing that. Versus on YouTube, if I'm successful on YouTube, they're successful on YouTube. So it just makes sense for me to partner with a platform that makes sense for my business, that aligns more with my values. YouTube is not flawless, let me tell you. They have their issues too, but we all do, right? We're all a work in progress. And in terms of all of the platforms out there, this is the one that makes the most sense and aligns the best. Now, I want to get into the last two things. I want to get into the privacy issues, and that's kind of the thing that really pushed me to finally just decide to cut it off completely. And I want to get into my exit strategy. But before we do that, I would love to hear from you in terms of your return on investment on Instagram. Do you get a lot of results from it? What do you do that gets you a lot of results from it, if that's the case? And if you don't, what are you considering doing instead? Okay, so one of the reasons that I am leaving Instagram is their privacy policy, which I know has caused a lot of upset lately. It was not the main reason that I'm leaving, but it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I want to go through some of the things in the privacy policy that I'm uncomfortable with and why I'm uncomfortable with them and why I'm deciding not to support Instagram in these things. Now, I know that a lot of these things have been around for a while, but once you actually have to acknowledge it, it changes your viewpoint and you no longer can ignore it. I also know that this is true of other apps. I know this is true of Facebook. I know there's probably some issues with YouTube too, but we can only be so perfect. So I'm doing the best that I can. And again, this isn't the entire reason I'm leaving. All of those other things had a lot to do with it, but this was just the thing that said, okay, enough is enough. Now, I will say here, I don't 100% hate everything on this because most of it is designed to serve us up with more relevant ads. And I don't mind that. I would prefer ads that I prefer versus things that are not relevant to me at all. However, some of this stuff just kind of crosses the line. So even though it's beneficial to me as an advertiser myself, it does make me uncomfortable as a user of the platform. So the first thing is when they talk about the info and content you provide, we collect the content. The collection piece makes me a little uncomfortable. I would like to know, like, how long are they collecting it for? Why are they collecting it forever and ever and ever, as it seems to be? That makes me a little uncomfortable. But then they also talk about this can include what you see through features we provide, such as our camera. Our camera makes me, that's just weird to me, but whatever. The idea that they are looking at what I'm seeing, that they're collecting that as data. They're looking at the background of my images to see where I'm at or what I'm using. That just crosses a privacy line for me. Privacy is a big value of mine, and this makes me feel a little awkward. It also talks about here that they're going to analyze the content and what's in them. So this is, again, they're looking at your pictures, they're analyzing what is in it, and they're using that content, supposedly to use it for ads and things that they think would be helpful for you. But again, it just crosses that privacy line for me. Like, I'm just not cool with that. The next piece is where they're talking about device information, and they talk about, where is it at? Device operations, information about operations and behaviors performed on the device, whether a window is foregrounded or backgrounded, mouse movements. Now, again, I understand the principle behind this. You know, it's to help distinguish humans from bots. Great. Again, it just makes me a little uncomfortable that they can look at everything I'm doing on my device and determine who knows what from that. I just don't love that. They're also collecting unique identifiers, device IDs, and other identifiers such as games, apps, or accounts you use. So they're looking to see what accounts I use. Like, what does that mean? Where do you draw the line in that? Are they looking at bank account information? Are they looking at, look, I don't have a lot to hide, but I do like privacy. So this just makes me feel really uncomfortable, really not okay with it. I think that we need to have firmer lines drawn in the sand in terms of our privacy and what these companies can use for data. And even as an advertiser, I still want to protect other people's privacy. I don't want to do something unethical just because it helps my bottom line. I would love to see them make some changes around this to be clearly outline, here's what we collect from these things and here's what we don't. But until that happens, that's why we're deleting Instagram's app from all of our devices, logging out, clearing cookies, everything, so that over time they will hopefully stop storing all of our information. And then networks and connections. This one also makes me a little uncomfortable. Some of it I understand, like time zone, mobile phone app, IP address, connection speed. Again, I don't know why you need that, but information about other devices that are nearby or on your network. So does that mean when my husband's on Instagram, they're picking up information about my device as well? Again, like, these are just things that cross the line for me. Okay, let's talk about my exit strategy, how I'm actually leaving Instagram. Number one, I'm not actually deleting Instagram in terms of deleting my profile, but what I am doing is deleting the app. Now, I already actually deleted the Facebook app and the Facebook Messenger app probably a year and a half ago, and is like the best decision ever. And so deleting the Instagram app was actually, it was pretty easy. Deleting the YouTube app a few months ago, that was harder than deleting the Instagram app because I was already slowly easing myself off the platform. I don't check in there very often. I get my Instagram messages on our Facebook page, like they're still linked. And so I can still get messages there, but overall, we're gonna actually leave the profile, but we are gonna delete the app and take ourselves off of it in terms of presence. We're no longer gonna be posting there. So the profile will essentially go dormant, but what we've done is leave it up something like a business card. So we've created the last pieces of content to be able to show people where I'm at, but also what I do. So if you go through the last 9 to 10 posts on there, you'll see a little bit of everything that I do in those posts. The very first post that you're gonna see is I'm leaving Instagram, here's where you can find me. We've also done the same thing in our highlights. We've put some information there so people know who we are, what we're about, and where to find us. And I've done the same thing with my bio link. That also leads to where you can find me, what I'm about, here are the things that I offer. So people who are still finding Instagram, maybe through old YouTube videos, maybe through, I don't know, maybe an old post. I have no idea if that will continue to garner any attention. I doubt it. But if they happen to find the profile, they'll know exactly where to go if what I do interests them. Now, I really don't expect a lot of that. I know that people are on Instagram, they want to engage on Instagram. I've never had a lot of traffic that comes from Instagram to other places. Another reason why I wanted to leave them, because it just wasn't converting, it wasn't going anywhere. And so I don't expect a whole lot, and that's okay with me. Same that I did with Twitter years ago. I didn't delete the profile, I just left it there and it just went dormant, and that's fine. So here's my question for you. Is Instagram hurting or helping your business? Or maybe it's just kind of neutral and sort of wasting time, which in my opinion, is hurting your business. Do you see a return on the investment of time and energy that you put into the platform? And if not, where might you see that investment instead? What could you be doing instead that could help to grow your business, or maybe just put you in a better mood, maybe add more value to your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments. And if you're curious about how I've grown this YouTube channel and how I find that it's worth it for my business, check out these 2 videos. They'll help you to understand more of my reasoning behind this platform, what I've done to be able to grow it, and some more information like how much money I make from it. Fist bump in the comments if you've made it to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.